groovy. Be my victim.
The old cynicism is gone.
Hello everyone, Joshua Myers here, and welcome back to another movie review, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Hitcher from 1986.
The moment he stops, the terror starts.
I swear I didn't kill those people. I got sprayed by this guy who picked up hitchhiking.
Do you believe me? The Hitcher, rated R, starts Friday, February 21st in a theater near you.
The Hitcher stars Rutger Hauer, I think that's how you pronounce his name, if not, here it is. C. Thomas Howell, Jeffrey Demon, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and is directed by Robert Harmon. The plot of The Hitcher is that an innocent young man is dragged into a nightmare of murder in the remote desert by a crazed hitchhiker. Now, before I get on with my thoughts on this film, I've never seen this movie before. This was a first viewing for me, and I've heard about it, and I've heard people over on the Killer Flicks Facebook group talk about it, saying how good it is. I have Amazon Prime, and it's included with one of the subscription services, so I decided to watch it on there, and I do have some thoughts. Whew. Where do I even begin with this movie? Well, for one, the plot, while on the surface, I feel like you can't really do that much with, about a crazed hitchhiker and that. Unless if it's like maybe a 30-minute to 40-minute short film. That's the only way I could really see it, at least at the time. But no, this movie proved me wrong, actually. You could do a whole lot with a crazed hitchhiker movie runs for about an hour and a half, actually, and keep you invested, which that's one of the positives. The story is so investing in this film. And the characters too. Our main character, portrayed by C. Thomas Howell, once he picks up this hitchhiker, because it's like one of the stories, you've heard about, like one of the reasons you don't pick up hitchhikers. This movie definitely shows why you don't pick up hitchhikers, and Rutger Hauer's character, who is the hitchhiker in that, he's so full-blown crazy in that, and for some reason just doesn't kill the main character for some reason. He could have very easily killed the main character and took the vehicle and all that stuff, but for some reason, he does not do. In fact, instead, what he does is actually messes with our main character's mind. This is a very psychological film, actually. It's very suspenseful, because again, you care about our main character. This kid who is going from Chicago to Los Angeles. You don't know that much about the kid, but the filmmakers did a good enough job to make you instantly care for this character. I was on the edge of my seats the whole time, because I had no idea what was going to happen. I really didn't, because again, I haven't heard that much from this movie. I was on the edge of my seats, and there were some times I was thinking, oh, this is probably going to happen. But then the film does a complete 180, and just, when it does that, I'm like, whoa. And it does it in a way that I think is the right way, it doesn't do a complete 180 and, changes the entire film completely to the point where it's a different movie. No, it still feels like it's the same movie, consistent, and even tonally consistent. And also I care for one of the supporting characters. Nash, I think, is portrayed by Jennifer Jason Leigh. I also cared for her. She is the daughter of the restaurant owner, the cafe that the main character goes to. Yeah, I did care for her character and everything. And I will say, in terms of how the film feels and everything, if you were to compare it to other films, it really feels like almost a combination of the film Seven, which then came out 2 years later, and The Terminator, which came out before this film. So almost seemed like, it was a combination of the films, the first Terminator and also Seven. It felt like a combination of both those films, and they did that rather well, actually. Not only that too, this is a film that keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time. It is an anxiety-driven movie, no joke. I'm rather anxious after watching it, because it was just such a ride, actually. This is a movie I don't want to spoil, it's kind of difficult to talk about my positives without spoiling this film. But I mean, the cinematography is really good. The pacing of this film is really good too. This film clocks in at 1 hour and 30 minutes and does not feel like that. Again, and that goes to the fact that this is an anxiety-driven movie. It so feels like that. It moves by like no joke. I feel like I might need to go to bed after this because it's just like, woo. Like, it's such a thrill ride, actually. Like, and I also like too that it's violent without being incredibly violent. Actually, you know, it does more of the show than what you don't see scarier than what you do see. There's some gore, yes, but it's very subdued, especially compared to horror films that are around this time period. Also, the music is pretty good too. It's very much an 80s synthesizer, but it's done in a way that is exciting and suspenseful too. Also, the action sequences are rather good because there are some actually, and there's a lot of stunts where cars are flipping over and stuff like that. Like those are done really well. Kind of reminds me of the stunts from the first Fast and Furious movie actually, which is another good one. But I could keep on going on and on about my positive with this film, so let's just move on to my negatives because unfortunately I do have some. One of my negatives, to be honest, is I can't remember what, but it was like there's some decisions made by our main characters, and that's like, oh, why didn't you just do this and stuff like that, and you could have avoided this whole thing. Like, for example, it's kind of a bit of a negative, but it's kind of more of a nitpick. Another nitpick I have is while I think the cinematography is pretty good, when I was watching it on Amazon Prime, I'm not sure if this is the case for the whole movie in general, but I think it is it's a very weird aspect ratio, actually, and I just didn't got it. The only thing I could think of is that they wanted to make sure that you felt uneasy throughout the whole thing, and having a different aspect ratio like that will make you feel uneasy because it just doesn't feel right. So that's kind of my explanation for that. I'm not sure if that's what they were going for, but it still was kind of odd to watch, especially on a 4K TV here, so. But honestly, for me, those are my only negatives. So that said, I'm going to give The Hitcher a 5 out of 5 stars. I was originally thinking maybe, like, I was kind of a toss-up between 4.5 and 5 out of 5, but the negatives I do have are honestly nitpicks, and this is an awesome, like, 80s horror film. I mean, people put this as horror, but I don't consider it horror necessarily. I see it as more as a psychological suspense, thriller, action, drama movie, and with some elements of horror. And it is really good. If you guys have not seen The Hitcher, I highly recommend you check it out. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.